Welcome to the Argon News Network, where we're going to pretend we just didn't disappear for 2 whole months. Welcome back, you absolute bunch of Argonian legends. Loserbum back on your screen with some dubious quality, low-scripted, single-take, high-intensity, 8-bit Z80 Argon Light kind of content. Yep, it's good to be back. A little bit of a hiatus. No, I did not go fall down a Neo 6502 rabbit hole. I actually haven't switched it on for 2 months. Could have happened. But it was like the attractions of 3D printing, lots of work, summer holidays, travel, and etc. have kept me away from you. But I'm back, and I'm very happy to be back. Let's dive right in with our new jingle. AgonTV News Roundup. Let's get cracking. All right, what have we got? What have we got? The Argon Console 8, featured before, is now hit the mainstream. They're out there shipping, probably several thousand out there. The deluxe kit is apparently available for pre-order, whatever the heck that is. More importantly, they're working on FCC approval, which means that they can sell it to the USA. Yay! And then lots of people are going to be pronouncing it the Agon, but no, it's the Argon. At least that's what I say. So yeah, big. I think that's caused a fairly big uptick in the community on the various channels. Lots of activity, lots of new people. We are totally not going to do any sort of gatekeeping towards those noobs, those Johnny-come-latelys who didn't have to just get this weird thing with no housing and you have it easy. We have to flip our. No, seriously, guys, welcome. The more the merrier. It will carry on helping to lift this rather esoteric device out of its well-deserved obscurity. And to all of you old guys, you can still say, well, I was there before it was cool. So, yep, Argon Console 8. I'm not going to buy one, or I'm not planning to. Don't see the attraction, but yeah, always good. Next, check this out. This is apparently screen cap from a real Argon. A gentleman by the name of Christian Pinder released this, and for those of you, like pretty much everyone in the community, because we're all old, will recognize this as the loading screen spaceship 3D animation from the classic Elite. And it's even got the radar at the bottom. So, yeah, that's what Christian has been working on, and this is running on an Argon. Apparently, if I get it right, this gentleman has ported Elite to other esoteric platforms. So could we have an Elite one day native on the Argon Lite? That would be awesome, right? I mean, the last time I saw this thing rotate, the first time I saw this thing rotating was about 40 years ago. So, yeah, on a BBC Micro, no less. So, cool. Very happy to see that. What else have we got? Again, the screen cap from an Argon, right? This is Lemmings, the absolute, utterly classic Lemmings, and it's looking very good. The color's exactly like on the PC. This is still a demo, right? So I guess you can't write playable, but look at that animation. Look at the little dumpty. It's Lemmings, and what mind-blowing it is, written in BASIC. This is none of your assembler or C. The BASIC on the Argon has got so performant that you can now write stuff like this. And if they can get this far in BASIC, I'm pretty sure they can get to a working game in BASIC. It warms the cockles of my heart to see this kind of stuff. It warms the cold, hard cockles of my heart. So, yeah, well done, Mike Daly, at least. I think that's the person who's involved. It might be a team. Keep going, and we'll be getting back to those as they mature, for sure. Next up, Envenomator, Jerome Venema, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, who's been a core kernel hacker for the Argon since day -1, right? He's been there right at the core, along with Dean Belfield, #break into programming, like developing very low-level stuff for the Argon, and we're very grateful when we say that we're standing on the shoulders of giants. These are the shoulders. Has released a thing called the Argon MOS ZDI Flash Utility, available for the Console 8 as well. In a nutshell, the Z80 part of the Argon is an EZ80 flash chip, which contains the Z80, but also some memory and all kinds of things. And that memory is where the MOS, the operating system, lives. So far, so good. If you want to upgrade your MOS, as seen in a previous video, link somewhere in the description or in the box on your screen, you you update the MOS from the MOS, right? So you load it, you run a program in MOS, it kind of flashes itself. Now, the challenge is if you get that wrong, or if you get a device which doesn't have the initial MOS flashed, you are royally screwed, because the only way to interface with this EZ80 is a cable from ZDI, or by ZDI debug interface cable, which is made out of pure unobtainium. List price north of $100, and even if you have that money to spend for a cable, right, it's not available. It just doesn't exist. You could go to the Navi and go and harvest blue cat people. That's probably, yeah, maybe that's what that tail is in Avatar is made of. It's a ZDI cable. Anyway, that was always a problem, because if something went wrong, if you had your MOS corrupted, you would brick your device pretty much irretrievably, because these cables are not as available. And so Envenomator, and I believe a few others have been involved. Maybe I've been following this on the side for a while. They found a way for the VDP, which is always accessible, right, because it's the ESP chip, to somehow like throw very gentle bites towards the bits and bytes toward the EZ80, and without that cable, bootstrap it in such a way that you can reflash your MOS even when you've bricked your device. I think that's fantastic. So well done, Envenomator. Well done, Jerome. I'm considering actually trying and demoing this in a video, but yeah, it's probably quite fiddly. I'm actually looking forward to that when I find the time. So thanks very much. Another addition, and also obviously makes the newcomers to the community more, gives them a sense of safety, that if they screw it up completely, that they actually have a way out. So well done. Thanks for that. Now, here is what actually have that clickbait title. I'm going to put a really clickbaity title in here. Bernardo Kastrup, the inventor, the founder, the inventor of the Argon Light, the man himself, the man, the legend, had been pinged over social media because there was some new news, that's redundant, but some new news about the X16. The X16 is another single board computer which has been in development for a couple of years and is a thing, and it sometimes gets compared with the Argon. Already a couple of months ago, Bernardo did a article about his opinion on that thing, and I'll link to that. It was an interesting article. Now, because there's been some more news, he has come back and doubled down on those news. Somewhere in this article he says, hey, if there's so much press about this X16, I'm allowed to write a pointed review or a pointed opinion. Yeah, it was pointed. It was pointed something like this. He took his Brazilian Dutch Morningstar and went wham! And I have no particular beef with the X16 except $500. Yeah, list price not happening, guys. Good luck. If somebody enjoys it, more power to you. But I did really, really enjoy reading this, no matter what the opinion is. So link in the description to do below. That was some spicy opinions right here. You can tell that the man somehow has a philosophy degree. So that's where the clickbait came through. Now we get to the meat. We get to the main course, to the entree, as the American would call it. New section called Operating System Review, with some metal music to go with the kernel hackers, because we are so hardcore. And the operating system which I'm reviewing today is brought to you by courtesy of Alexander Sharikin, also better known as Nihirash, the best thing to come out of Russia since sliced borscht. He has also been doing a bunch of low-level stuff, but you may remember him from the absolute corker of a game written in assembler, Rocky, which is a sort of Boulder Dash kind of game, which I reviewed a few months back. Link in the description or on your screen somewhere below. So Nihirash has come out with CPM for the Argon Light, which multiple people have been doing, but this is a really accessible and easy to install version of CPM, because all the other ones you had to flash this or wire that, and it was all a bit thing. This one, I will walk you through the installation process. It's really not hard, and it brings CPM to the unwashed and smelly Argon masses, viz. You. So what is CPM? CPM is an operating system originally standing for Control Program Monitor. I'm pretty sure that in the original Tron, the 70s Tron, when they talk about the Master Control Program, I can almost not believe that it's not a callback to this. And it was originally created in 1974. That is 49, 7 to the power of 2, almost 50 years ago. Half century old operating system, which was for Intel 8088, and because that had some compatibility with the Z80, there was a lot of Z80 computers. This is like, we're talking before the Apple II, before Commodore, before any of those, when you had this Cambrian explosion of homebrew computers and you need an operating system. Well, it was CP/M, and that's what we have today, and that I find is super appropriate for this very retro device, right? It's nostalgia in the making. It's almost experimental archaeology in computer science. So, very quickly, the installation process is hugely complicated, so pay attention now. You might want to take some notes. So you go to GitHub, you go to releases, yes, on the right hand side, here it is. You click on Argon CP/M and download the zip file. Right, I'll do that right here and I will open it, and then you extract the zip file. Forget about the MOS, you don't need that if you have the latest MOS. I'll get to that in a moment. You take the contents of the CP/M folder and you copy those to your SD card to the subfolder CP/M. Right, with me so far? Right, okay, okay. So then you take your disk, your SD card, you insert it in the device, you power on the device, and now we switch over to the other screen. Here we are. Um, I've cheated a bit on this one, got auto exec. So yeah, here I am in the root of my Argon. Yes, I am, and I go cd cp/m. Right. Okay. Now comes the complicated bit. Load cpm.bin. Almost done, and you run. Ta-da! We have CP/M on the Argon. That wasn't so hard, was it? So, yeah, you can see this is version 2.2 from 1979, so already the upgraded one, which is only 44 years old. And old greybeards like us, that looks kind of familiar because CP/M is very much a grandfather to DOS, right? 8088, 8086, a lot of, or a significant amount of the paradigms from this very proto operating system made it into early versions of MS-DOS, which are still available today by pressing the Windows key and typing CMD enter. So, for instance, you don't type ls like in Unix. You type dir, and this is the directory of the A drive. By the way, this thing operating system is so primitive. Folders no exist. We no have folders. Just not happening, right? It's just not there. Not even security. The only way to sort, you can assign files to a user, and you can have up to 16 users, and that's about it. So here we're on our A drive because Nihirash in his release has kindly provided, I think it's like 8 disk images with some stuff on it. So here, this like pip and load, these are sort of utility. Ed is an editor. A com program is a command program, so one that you can run, something which you'll recognize from MS-DOS. Look at the top bottom right, zip, unzip, still there 40 years later. Memory was expensive. If you want to run one of these, let's try Ed. Yep. Okay, error on something, select whatever, not sure, but yep, I can run the files just by doing com. Kermit, if you'll see it on the right, Kermit is a terminal program, because one absolute use case for these old machines, which let's be honest couldn't do very much, was to get on to a terminal program, have a modem acoustic coupler, and then dial into the mainframe, which was at university or at work over a phone line. So that's why Kermit is here on the A drive. Let's scroll through some of the other things. What do we have on the B drive? dir. Again, mbasic. We have a basic. So again, you just type mbasic. Ta-da! mbasic from 1985. So we have basic and we can do stuff. Let me try and load. I got this wrong the last time. It's case sensitive. That's the trick there, the file name. So let's try Star Warp. I don't think you need the extension. Yep, he's loading. Okay, run. Press any key to continue. Space, the final frontier. This is the voyage of the Starship Defiant. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new blah blah blah. My name is Loserbum for the logs. So this is like a text-based interactive game where you could interact with the computer, and you are like you're the Picard, or back then the Captain Kirk of a particular starship, and you can say navigate here, examine that, send some red shirts down, and just examining the galaxy. So Spock is giving you the bearing. What is Zulu? I'm picking up a vessel. Log, captain's log. I don't know. I don't know what the commands are. Zulu. Yeah. What are your orders? Attack? I don't know. Anyway, yep, that's the game. So you have that. These were absolute classic on the very first sort of ZX81. Every game, mainframe, things like that, you would find a game like this because it didn't rely upon graphics. And because I don't know how to exit MBasic, well, I just hit the reset button. And because this thing boots faster than it takes to find your mouse cursor on your modern graphical user interface, you just hit reset, and here we are again. A little side note while we go here. So CPM, I actually interacted with at school. It was a boarding school in the UK in the early 80s, 1981 or 82. We had a former Air Force computer science teacher. Hey, Mr. Toon, after all these years, you're still a tosser, right? You're a bully. I don't like the memory of you, but at least you use your bullying power to convince the school to invest in a pretty heavy CPM networked with terminals. We had graphics terminals. There was like disks and whatever. So when I first stumbled into this, it's very familiar from like 40 years ago. So, good things can come from bad people. Close brackets. So what else do we have? C drive. I see a lot of .c files here, so I guess this is a C compiler, and that's also par for the course for something like this because there was no software available, sort of very much commercial or open source. So you had assemblers and you had compilers, and you started writing your own programs. You had terminals and compilers. What do we have on the D drive? On the D drive, we have more that also CC optimizer maybe. In the middle, I'm seeing hex to com. That's almost like our hex to bin when we do Argon C programming. The compiler output hex files, and then you need to convert that to an executable. So more stuff. String header, right? So more stuff around the C file. Also, quick note: you can have up to drive P, as in Pascal, and that's 16, right? P is the 16th letter of the alphabet, so you can have 16 drives, which tells me that CPM has a 4-bit addressing for the files. At the time, you couldn't invest in whole 8 bits to drives, and who would ever have more than 16 drives? Furthermore, the images which Nihirash has provided here, and I guess this is optimized for, are 8 megabytes large, right? That's huge. So you could have 16 times 8 megabytes on this computer. In 1974 or 1979, that would probably buy you a house or maybe a Lamborghini Countach. No, they came a little bit later because, yeah, a 10 megabyte hard disk in 1975, you're looking at 10 grand, and that was $10,000 back then when it was worth money. So maybe worth 20 or 30,000 today, multiplied by 16. You've got somewhere near $250,000 of storage here on this tiny little cool Argon device. So, yep, a little digression there. E drive. What have we got on E drive? Oh dear, second column, third from the bottom, we have my favorite word processor, WordStar. In another video, I have certain opinions about WordStar because I had to use them for things. So let's see if I can open a document. Test.doc. No, hang on, open a document. Oh, text. No, hang on. There, text.doc. Yay, it's reading a document from this. Gulliver's Travels. Yay, why not? And here already see that's why WordStar sucks, is that for some reason the arrow keys don't work. Exactly, to go up and down, you have to Control W, Control Z, exactly, because this is before the arrow keys. But yes, I have a text editor, and I do Control K, X, quit, Q, X, save and exit WordStar. And And we're back. We're out. So WordStar, my favorite word processor. In fact, I'll tell you what I think about the word processor. I've heard that that YouTube demonetizes videos which use a certain word. So I will type that certain word rather than say it out. This is my opinion of WordStar. But at the time, of course, it was way better than typewriters, Tipex, and all of that kind of things. Maybe I'm not being very gracious. They didn't have arrow keys. They didn't have other things. So here we are. So Control K X, and we're out. So hey, we have the WordStar, we have the basic, we have the C, we have the assembler, we have the utilities. What's on F drive? Um, More stuff. Simple file. Oh no, I can see. Second row, bottom line. Folks fourth, right? This is fourth. Remember, I had again other video about why fourth is cool. Yep, that was one of the very classic bootstrapping old 70s programming languages which you would use because it's very easy to get computers working that way. So yep, we have fourth on this. I will now jump ahead to the last drive in the list and then come back for a reason. P drive. What do we have on P drive? dir. We have turbo. What could turbo be? Let's run turbo. Ta-da! Turbo Pascal. We have Turbo Pascal. Let's see. Edit. We're going to edit a file. Test.pas. And now I have to go over to the other computer because I have no clue what. Oh, do I even have it here? No, I don't. I don't have the Hello World for Pascal, but you can write Pascal programs, and I suspect you can compile them too. So that's cool, right? So welcome back to full speed back into the 70s, 80s. Pascal maybe more 80s. So here we are back in the thing, and now we go to the G drive, which I skipped a moment ago. And why did I skip it? Because it is a le pièce de résistance, my friends. dir. Ta-da! We got the Zork! We got the Zork 1, Zork 2, Zork 3. We got the Hitchhikers. We got Planetful. Yep, so, yep, absolutely typical for this generation. So now it's probably the 17th different way you can now play Zork on the Argon Light. Zork 1, here it is. I'm west of the house. Let me see if I get south, west, open window. Enter window. Up. Can I go up? Yep. Look. L. East. Yay! I've been eaten by a Gru. Again, the only reason we even invented two computers is to run Zork and be eaten by a group. So, yep, there we are. Cool. Now, we will switch back to the other place, to the other screen here, to do a little bit more things. So, we talked about CPNM, what is there. I would like to... Oh, there would have been my Pascal Hello World. I might try that, but afterwards. So, I'm just going to show you something. If you go, again, to the GitHub, go down to the disks subfolder, there's some interesting files here. Template is a blank disk image, which is compatible with this CPM kindly provided by Nihirash. Disk defs you also need to download because there's a tool set called CPM tools, right, which you can use to read and write from these DSK disk images. And I'll just show you what that looks like. So here I'm actually using, this is CPM tools for Windows 32. There's a version for Windows 32, and I'll be buggered if it doesn't actually work. The trick is that you need to download the disk defs file to the folder because that tells the CPM tools all the different disk types which are available. And actually, we can probably look at that. The type command, by the way, from DOS 1-to-1, you can find that in CPM. They are really very close. DRR type, things like that. So type disk defs. Right, for each of them, the length of the sectors, how many tracks, how many sectors per track, the block size, etc. Because CPM is so old, this thing was connected to anything like 8-inch floppies, 5-inch floppies, weird hard disks, tapes, punch cards, and whatnot. So you need the disk defs to be able to do the next thing, which is then to do CPMLS. Funnily enough, that's Linux syntax. So CPM list, and then you do -F, so for format, and then with no space nihirash. That's a disk definition in that diskdefs files, which corresponds to the settings which are specific to this. And we're going to list the template.disk, right? Normally, if you download template.disk, it would be empty. Here, I've already used this tool set to copy files onto it. So let me just grab some random file. Let's say hybrid.txt. Yeah. So if I wanted to copy a file to this image, I would then cpm copy, still with minus f nihirash template.disk, and then what did I call it? I called it hybrid.txt, and then it's helpful if you put 0 colon at the end. That will assign or connect these files to user 0. Remember, there are no subdirectories in there, so the only way to organize files is to assign them to a user who goes from, guess what, 0 to 15, I think it is. Same 4-bit addressing scheme. No security, no ownership, no read-only or whatever. You are fully free to completely balk your disk images like a real man. And there you are. And if we now do the list again, we can see that now the hybrid.txt file is now on that image. Cool, huh? And what does that mean? Let's quickly pop back over. And we go, because what I did then is I took that template.dsk file and I just renamed it to cpmh, right, .dsk, and loaded it onto the SD card. And now that image, simply because cpmh H drive appears as the H drive, right? Here's that image. It doesn't have the text files because I didn't copy the thing over. But that's how you are not just limited to the disk images kindly provided by Mr. Nihirash. You can try and find some really old software, put it on an image and run it himself. I'm going to run one right here called Catchem, which is a sort of Pac-Man clone. And this is just to prove that I can actually run the programs. It's a complete mess. What you are seeing here, I think, ANSI code. So before running it, I would have to tell the system how the terminal is configured. I have no clue how to do that, if anybody finds out, but it does prove that you can take software from somewhere else, load it on a disk image, and run it on here, right? So with all of that, let's go back and bring this home. It's been an exciting ride. Oh, by the way, if you want more syntax, you go into that same folder and the build shell file. That's where you can actually see the syntax. And this file actually allows you to mass upload. Obviously, it's a Linux bash script. On my Raspberry Pi, and assume any modern Linux, it's very difficult to install these CPM tools. It's apt get update and then apt get install CPM tools. Yep. I love Linux, right? It's like, oh, you want a completely obscure set of tools to interact with weird disk images from a 50-year-old operating system? Yep, you just pull it down from the apt repositories. Gotta love the open source community. And yeah, I'll link to this. This is like more around that CPM tools. I've been looking around. It's hard to find software for this. And when you find software, so much of it seems to be, utilities and people writing programs. It's not like you have a library as here's like 100 games for CPM. If anybody find some, let me know. I might post this video also to Reddit CPM. Maybe those guys can come up with something. But anyway, we have a new operating system on the Argon. Well, we had it before, but now it's very, very readily available. And I just think all of that is really awesome. So, bringing us home, just some very personal news. As I said, for 2 months, I didn't post a damn video. Zero, zip, zilch, nada, nix, niente. Rien, right? And my user count kept going up at almost the same speed, right? So these spikes here, you correspond to videos I published earlier this year, and then, yeah, didn't publish anything. And I think this spike you see here starting to in October, is the consolate community slowly coming online and starting to search YouTube and Google for Argon. So, hey, welcome, guys. Welcome to the community. It's a bit of a sausage fest, but so far, really, really friendly people. So, with all of that, I would like to everyone, still and every time, encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to tell your friends to like, share, and subscribe, and to hit the subscribe button and all the notification button. Hit me up on the website, check the YouTube channel, check the Discord. Yeah, ping me. Mastodon. Mastodon is a good place to get in touch with me. I don't do the Twitter anymore for reasons. And yeah, that's about it. It's good to be back. Not sure when the next one's going to be. I vowed that the break will not be as long. We definitely have some games to review. I think that's where we'll be going back. We have some fresh games to have a look at. So stay tuned. I'll be offline for a couple of weeks because I'm traveling, but I won't forget you. I'm coming back. With all of that, I'm Loserbum. You're the Argon community. No, I've got that backwards. Hang on. You're the Argon community. I'm Loserbum. You are all a bunch of bloody legend, even the console 8 people, and I am out of here.